Greetings, learners. Welcome to an exciting journey of learning and discovery. In today's video, we will explore criminology, correctional administration with a set of 10 questions and answers. Set 7A. Stay safe, keep learning, and may you always be blessed. This is Cecil Umbroso's YouTube channel.
Follow justice and justice alone, so that you may live and possess the land the Lord your God is giving you. Deuteronomy 16:20. Welcome to our comprehensive review session. In this video, we'll be tackling a series of multiple choice test questions to help you prepare effectively for your upcoming exam. Stay focused, take notes, and let's work through each question together to strengthen your understanding and boost your confidence. Let's begin our review. Directions: read each item carefully. Select the letter of the best answer from the choices given. The penalty imposed for offenders must be certain. This means that A. The guilty one must be the one to be punished, no proxy. B. No one must escape its effect. C. It must be equal for all persons. D. The consequence must be in accordance with law. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer: D. The consequence must be in accordance with law. Certainty of penalty is one of the essential characteristics of an effective penal system. In criminal law, this refers to the idea that once a person commits a crime, the penalty is predetermined and clearly provided by law. No ambiguity, no arbitrariness. This certainty serves as a deterrent, as people will know exactly what the legal consequence is for a given crime. The law defines crimes and prescribes specific penalties for each. Thus, the punishment is not left to random decision-making, emotions, or personal interpretation. It must strictly follow legal statutes. Therefore, the best answer is D, because certainty of penalty is about lawful, predictable consequences to criminal acts, aligned with the principle of legality, nullum crimen, nulla pona sine lege. No crime, no punishment without a law. Explaining each choice. A. The guilty one must be the one to be punished, no proxy. This relates more to the principle of personal liability, that only the offender must be held responsible. While important, it is not the definition of certainty of penalty, but rather who should be punished, not how penalties are to be imposed. B. No one must escape its effect. This touches on the principle of inevitability of punishment, or that no guilty person should go unpunished. Again, this supports deterrence but focuses on enforcement, not on the certainty or legality of the penalty. C. It must be equal for all persons. This refers to the principle of equality before the law, which ensures that punishment does not discriminate. While a just principle, it speaks more about fairness or impartiality, not about the fixedness or legal basis of the penalty. D. The consequence must be in accordance with law. White heavy check mark. This is the core definition of the certainty of penalty. It ensures that punishment is lawful, predetermined, and not arbitrary. People should know the legal consequences of their actions in advance, and the state must enforce penalties strictly as provided by law. Summary. Certainty of penalty means there is a definite legal consequence for each criminal act. It strengthens deterrence and ensures justice is carried out objectively and lawfully. That's why D is the best answer. The following are the duties of the custodial force in prison, except a. Censor offenders' items. b. Escort inmates. c. Inspect security devices. d. Conduct disciplinary hearing. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer, D. Conduct disciplinary hearing. The custodial force in prison primarily refers to prison guards or custodial personnel tasked with security, supervision, and safety duties inside the correctional facility. Their main roles include maintaining order, preventing escapes, and ensuring that all security protocols are followed. Conducting disciplinary hearings, however, falls under the function of a disciplinary board or committee, not the custodial force. This process involves evaluating evidence, hearing inmate testimony, and imposing sanctions if rules are violated. It requires a more administrative and quasi-judicial role, beyond the typical scope of custodial duties. Explaining each choice. A. Censor offenders' items. White heavy check mark custodial duty. Officers inspect and monitor mail, packages, and personal belongings of inmates to prevent contraband and security threats. Censorship helps ensure that communication is not used for illegal or dangerous purposes. B. Escort inmates. Custodial duty. Custodial staff escort inmates to various parts of the facility, court hearings, hospitals, or other secure locations. This ensures security during movements. C. Inspect security devices. Custodial duty. Routine inspection of locks, alarms, surveillance systems, and other security devices is essential to maintaining prison safety and is a key responsibility of custodial staff. D. Conduct disciplinary hearing. Not a custodial duty. This is an administrative or correctional management function, often carried out by a disciplinary board that includes senior officials, not by the custodial guards themselves. Summary. The custodial force ensures safety, supervision, and control within the facility. Disciplinary hearings, however, are handled by designated administrative personnel or a disciplinary board. Thus, the correct answer is D. Conduct disciplinary hearing. As a rule, when a jailbreak, escape or riot is in progress or has just been perpetuated in the jail, the officer at the control centers shall immediately A. Sound the alarm. B. Locked prisoners in their respective cells. C. Notify the nearest police precinct. D. Call the warden or the director. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer, A. Sound the alarm. In cases of jailbreak, escape, or riot, the first and most immediate action of the officer at the control center is to sound the alarm. This is based on standard operating procedures, SOPs, in custodial facilities. The purpose is to alert all jail personnel instantly, activate emergency response protocols, and prevent further escalation of the incident. Sounding the alarm ensures that other officers can quickly respond, secure vulnerable areas, and take defensive or preventive measures. Delaying this step even for a call or notification could lead to more escapes, injuries, or loss of control. Explaining each choice. A. Sound the alarm. Bell correct and immediate response. Triggers a facility-wide alert. This is the standard first response in emergencies to ensure everyone in the facility is aware and ready to act. It buys time and coordination. B. Lock prisoners in their respective cells. While this may be part of the overall emergency response, it is not the officer's first action during an active incident. Also, the officer at the control center may not be in a position to do this physically. C. Notify the nearest police precinct. Important but not the immediate first step. Police notification follows after the alarm is sounded and internal security measures are initiated. D. Call the warden or the director. While informing the warden is necessary, this is not the first action during a critical, fast-moving incident like a riot or escape. It's part of a subsequent reporting protocol, not the immediate emergency reaction. Summary. The first line of defense in a jailbreak or riot is a facility-wide alert. Thus, the correct answer is A. Sound the alarm. In case of mass jailbreak, all members of the custodial force shall immediately issue firearms and assign to critical posts to A. Plug off the escape routes. B. To shoot the escapees. C. Protect the other inmates. D. To give warning shots. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer, A. Plug off the escape routes. In the event of a mass jailbreak, the primary goal of the custodial force is to regain control and contain the situation. Issuing firearms and assigning officers to critical posts aims to block or plug off escape routes to prevent further escapes and apprehend those who are attempting to flee. This action is part of standard emergency response protocols in correctional facilities. It focuses on preventing the spread of the incident and maintaining security and order within and around the jail premises. The use of firearms is strictly controlled and only used as a last resort, in accordance with rules on the use of force, which emphasize containment over aggression. Explaining each choice. A. Plug off the escape routes. Correct answer. This reflects the primary objective, containment. Preventing inmates from escaping further protects the public and helps jail staff regain control of the situation. B. To shoot the escapees. Not automatically allowed. Use of deadly force is governed by strict guidelines and is only permitted when absolutely necessary, example if lives are at immediate risk. It is not the primary goal. C. Protect the other inmates. While ensuring inmate safety is always a duty, during a mass escape, the immediate response focuses on containment, not internal protection unless other inmates are directly endangered. D. To give warning shots. Warning shots may be part of a graduated use of force, but they are not the main purpose for issuing firearms. Also, many correctional policies discourage or prohibit warning shots due to the risk of unintended harm. Summary. The first priority during a mass jailbreak is to plug off escape routes to contain the situation and prevent more inmates from escaping. Correct answer, A. Plug off the escape routes. Which of these is known as the adult probation law, which grants probation to prisoners sentenced to term in prison of not more than 6 years? A. PD 603. B. RA 698. CPD 968. DPD 869. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer, CPD 968. Presidential Decree Number 968, also known as the Adult Probation Law of 1976, is the correct and official law that established a probation system in the Philippines. It allows qualified offenders, those sentenced to a maximum imprisonment of not more than 6 years, to serve their sentence under supervision outside of prison, rather than behind bars. The purpose of PD 968 is to promote the rehabilitation and reformation of offenders, avoid unnecessary imprisonment, and reduce prison congestion. The law also created the Probation Administration, now the Probation and Parole Administration, under the Department of Justice, which handles the implementation and supervision of probationers. Explaining each choice. A. PD 603. Incorrect. This is the Child and Youth Welfare Code, which deals with the protection and welfare of minors, not adult offenders. B. RA 698. Incorrect. This is not related to probation. In fact, Republic Act 698 does not exist in this context as a relevant criminal justice law. CPD 968. Correct. This is the Adult Probation Law of 1976, which grants qualified first-time offenders the chance to be rehabilitated outside prison under court supervision. DPD 869. Incorrect. This decree is unrelated to probation and may refer to a different administrative or legal topic outside the scope of adult criminal justice or corrections. Summary. The law that allows qualified adult offenders sentenced to not more than 6 years to avail of probation instead of serving prison time is PD 968, the Adult Probation Law of 1976. The continuing relationship between probation officer and probationer is known as A. Affiliation guidance. B. Pre-sentenced investigation. C. Supervision. D. Probation guidance. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer, C. Supervision. The continuing relationship between the probation officer and the probationer after the court has granted probation is formally known as supervision. Under Presidential Decree Number 968, the Adult Probation Law of 1976, supervision is the core function of a probation officer. It involves monitoring the probationer's compliance with the conditions set by the court, guiding and counseling the probationer toward rehabilitation and reintegration into society, reporting progress or violations to the court. This relationship is essential in ensuring that the probationer does not reoffend and that the goals of correction and rehabilitation outside prison are achieved. Explaining each choice. A. Affiliation guidance. Incorrect. This is not a standard term used in probation law or criminal justice. It seems vague or possibly made up in this context. B. Pre-sentence investigation. Incorrect. This occurs before probation is granted. It involves the probation officer evaluating the offender's background and submitting a report to help the judge decide whether probation is appropriate. C. Supervision. Correct. This is the formal term for the ongoing relationship and monitoring done by a probation officer after probation is granted. It includes counseling, reporting, and ensuring compliance. D. Probation guidance. Incorrect. While it sounds similar, probation guidance is not an official term under PD 968 or probation practice. Supervision is the correct and legally recognized term. Summary. the legally recognized, structured, and ongoing relationship between a probation officer and probationer is called. C. Supervision. Those who have been once on probation under the probation law A. Are qualified to apply for probation. B. Are disqualified to apply for probation. C. May be granted for another probation. D. Should be confined in prison. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer, B. Are disqualified to apply for probation. Under Presidential Decree No. 968, the Adult Probation Law of 1976, Section 9 clearly states the disqualifications for probation, and one of these is: those who have previously been on probation under the provisions of this decree are not qualified for probation again. This is because probation is intended primarily for first-time offenders to give them a second chance at rehabilitation outside of incarceration. Granting probation multiple times could weaken the deterrent and corrective goals of criminal law. Explaining each choice. A. Are qualified to apply for probation. Incorrect. This directly contradicts the law. A person who has already been granted probation before is not eligible for another probation. B. Are disqualified to apply for probation. Correct answer. According to PD 968, one of the clear disqualifications is having been previously granted probation. C. May be granted for another probation. Incorrect. Probation is a one-time privilege under the law. Repeat probation is not allowed. D. Should be confined in prison. Misleading. This is not automatically true. While they cannot apply for probation again, it doesn't mean they should always be imprisoned. Their case would follow the regular sentencing rules depending on the crime and penalty. Summary. Persons who have already availed of probation once are no longer eligible to apply for it again under the law. Correct answer, B. Are disqualified to apply for probation. This pillar/component of our criminal justice system has been regarded the weakest pillar due to its failure to eliminate recidivism and habitual offenders. A. Law enforcement. B. Prosecution. C. Court. D. Correction. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer, D. Correction. The correction pillar is widely regarded as the weakest among the 5 pillars of the Philippine criminal justice system due to its inability to effectively rehabilitate offenders and eliminate recidivism, reoffending, and habitual criminal behavior. Despite its mission to reform and reintegrate offenders back into society, the correctional system faces many challenges, such as overcrowded prisons, lack of rehabilitation programs, poor living conditions, inadequate staff and training, limited post-release support. Because of these issues, many inmates revert to criminal behavior after release, showing that true reformation has not been achieved, which is why corrections is considered the weakest link. Explaining each choice. A. Law enforcement. Not the weakest. Although often criticized for issues like abuse or corruption, this pillar generally captures and prevents crime, and is not directly responsible for recidivism. B. Prosecution. The role of prosecution is to present evidence and pursue criminal cases. It is not directly tasked with rehabilitating offenders or preventing recidivism. C. Court. The courts are tasked with rendering fair and impartial judgments. Their effectiveness is judged more on fairness and efficiency, not on whether offenders reoffend. D. Correction. Correct. This pillar deals with rehabilitation, punishment, and reintegration. Its failure to stop repeat offenses makes it the weakest in terms of long-term effectiveness. Summary. The correction component, tasked with rehabilitating offenders, is seen as the weakest pillar due to its failure to prevent repeat offenses and habitual criminality. Correct answer, D. Correction. The traditional goal of penology is A. Retribution. B. Deterrence. C. Incapacitation. D. Rehabilitation. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer, A. Retribution. The traditional goal of penology is retribution, which is rooted in the eye for an eye concept of justice. It emphasizes that punishment must be proportionate to the crime committed and that offenders must pay for their wrongdoing as a form of moral vengeance or societal revenge. Historically, penology, the study of punishment for crime and prison management, was not focused on reforming criminals, but rather on ensuring that justice was served by inflicting punishment that reflects the gravity of the offense. Explaining each choice. A. Retribution. Correct. This is the traditional and earliest concept in penology: punishment for the sake of justice and moral balance. The offender is punished because they deserve it, regardless of any future benefit. B. Deterrence. Incorrect. While important in modern penology, deterrence, preventing crime through fear of punishment, is considered a modern utilitarian goal, not the traditional one. C. Incapacitation. Incorrect. Incapacitation, removing the offender from society to prevent further crime, is also a modern approach to criminal justice. D. Rehabilitation. Incorrect. Rehabilitation aims to reform the offender, but this is a modern penological goal, reflecting a shift from punishment to correction. Summary. The traditional and most primitive goal of penology is to punish offenders because they deserve it, not necessarily to prevent future crimes or reform them. Correct answer, A. Retribution. The attempt to prevent future crimes through fear of punishment. A. Retribution. B. Deterrence. C. Incapacitation. D. Rehabilitation. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer, B. Deterrence. Deterrence is the goal of punishment aimed at discouraging the offender and others from committing crimes through the fear of consequences. It is a forward-looking or utilitarian approach to criminal justice, focusing on preventing future offenses. There are 2 types of deterrence. General deterrence aims to discourage the public at large from offending by making an example of others. Specific deterrence aims to discourage the individual offender from reoffending. Explaining each choice. A. Retribution. Incorrect. Retribution is punishment for the sake of justice or moral payback, not aimed at future crime prevention but at ensuring the offender pays for the wrong done. B. Deterrence. Correct. Deterrence works by using the threat or experience of punishment to prevent future crimes, both from the same offender and from the general public. C. Incapacitation. Incorrect. Incapacitation involves physically restricting an offender's ability to commit crimes, usually through imprisonment, not through fear but removal from society. Rehabilitation. Incorrect. Rehabilitation is aimed at changing the behavior and mindset of offenders so they can return to society as law-abiding citizens. It is based on personal reform, not fear. Summary. The use of fear of punishment to discourage future crimes is best described as b. Deterrence. I can do all things through Christ which strengthened me. Philippians 4:13. This verse emphasizes faith, perseverance, and reliance on God's strength in all aspects of life, including challenges in law, justice, and moral decision-making. It serves as a reminder that with Christ's guidance, we can overcome obstacles, pursue righteousness, and uphold justice with integrity. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more educational content. See you in the next video.